What's the word? What's the word? I'm back with another one. Look, I told y'all before. Y'all gonna come talk to me. Y'all need to comment. Well, y'all don't need to do nothing, but y'all can. Y'all could come like this up, talk to me back. When I talk to y'all, y'all can show me some love or whatever. But I'm about to go ahead and get into this body cam horror video. Like, as a 911 operator, it's imperative that you know what I'm saying, you pick up these people call. Because what if it was you or your family member on the other end? You know what I'm talking about? What if it was you on the other end? With somebody beating the living stuffing out of you, you know what I'm saying? And you need some serious help. You need them people to come through and get her done. But you hanging up on people. But like I said, I ain't seen this video. I like to do my videos live, but pre-recorded, and get y'all my real reaction. Go and get into this video. I already got it queued up. I'm doing a little something there. I'm professional this time. You know what I'm saying? Oop. Let me go and get into this video. Let's do it.
Miss Williams, step away from the console.
Excuse me, I'm working.
The logs say otherwise.
And
The system glitches. A mother tried calling 3 times. You hung up 3 times.
Wow.
I just didn't feel like working.
Stand up right now.
I didn't feel like working that day. That was Crenshonda Latrice Williams, 23 years old.
You ain't feel like working. So when your paycheck come, you gonna feel like getting that check or not? Like, what do you mean? See, these young entitled little girls and little boys, they don't need no job like this. They don't need no job like this. They need to do some fast food or something until they ready to be in the real world and make some real coins. Because what do you mean? Like, what you talking about? Man, please.
18 months on the job as a 911 dispatcher for Harris County, Texas. And in that moment,
Wait, 18 months on the job? 18 months. How long you been hanging up? And if you've been hanging up, why did it take so long for them to notice this? Like, it's a lot going on.
sitting at her console on the 5th floor of the Emergency Communications Center on Travis Street in downtown Houston, she had just admitted to failing a family in the worst way imaginable. What investigators had uncovered in the weeks leading up to this confrontation was a pattern so callous, so indifferent to human suffering, that seasoned detectives struggled to process it. 47 emergency calls over 10 months. Medical emergencies, domestic...
47 calls, bro. Like, that should be something written before you get hired. If you fail to comply to your job description, you will serve time because you did not do your job on which you signed up and applied for and got hired for. You know, like, I really think it should be some type of law in place to where you didn't do your job, you're going to jail. In this case.
violence, car accidents on I-10 and the Katy Freeway, each one answered by Crenshonda Williams, each one disconnected within seconds. But it was the Williams calls, 3 desperate pleas from a mother trying to save her 4-month-old son, that would send this case to trial, to national news, and ultimately to a prison cell in Gatesville, Texas. 18 months in state prison. A $1.4 million settlement paid by Harris County taxpayers, and a mother who will never stop asking why her son never had a chance because someone couldn't be bothered to do her job. Before we continue, have you ever called 911 and wondered if someone was actually listening?
Couldn't imagine.
Let us know in the comments.
Couldn't.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Crenshonda Latrice Williams was born in March 1999 in 3rd Ward, Houston. Her mother, Patricia, worked as a dental hygienist at a clinic on Wheeler Avenue. Steady work, decent benefits, home by 6 most nights. Her father, Darnell, drove long haul for Werner Enterprises, hauling freight across Texas. He was gone 2 weeks out of every month, sometimes 3. She was the middle child. Older brother Darnell Jr., younger sister Keisha, They shared a 2-bedroom apartment off Scott Street, cramped but clean. The AC window unit ran all summer and barely kept up with the Houston heat. Patricia kept the place spotless,
Mm.
but Third Ward was Third Ward. She was pretty. Everyone said so. By middle school, she'd learned that being pretty opened doors. Teachers were kinder. Boys paid attention. Girls wanted to be close to her. She never had to try hard at anything. Things just worked out. At Jack Yates High School, she floated through the social hierarchy without effort. Homecoming court junior year, prom court senior year, an Instagram following of 2,000 before graduation, impressive for 2017. She posted selfies, got likes, got comments, got the attention she craved. Her teachers were less impressed. She was bright but easily distracted, one wrote. Another noted strong verbal skills but inconsistent effort. A third observed she was more interested in social life than academics, and
Really?
frequently on her phone during class. She graduated in 2017 with a 2.4 GPA and no particular plan for what came next. College lasted 1 semester. Houston Community College, fall of 2017. She enrolled in
She just didn't want to do nothing with herself. Like she probably was one of the girls on the internet. If you don't make over 100K, you don't make 6 figures. Or you gotta pay me to date me. Like, girl, stop. The hell?
general studies, thinking vaguely about business or communications. She stopped showing up by October, stopped responding to emails from her advisor by November. It wasn't for me, she told her mother. What followed was a string of retail jobs that never stuck. Forever 21 at the Galleria, 3 months. She quit because the manager had an attitude. Ulta Beauty in Memorial City, 4 months. She quit because she was tired of standing all day. A brief stint at a call center in Greenway Plaza, 6 weeks. She walked out mid-shift because a customer raised his voice. She was 20 years old, living at home.
I like her whole life she lacked responsibility. Like she didn't have nothing to be responsible for. And that's what ultimately led her up to where she's at now. Like, God forbid, if her life stays where it's at and, she just don't change after this whole ordeal. I pray she figure out what she wants to do. I hope she figures it out because she's going down the wrong path. Like, man.
Making $9 an hour when she bothered to work at all. Her mother was running out of patience.
Man.
You need a real job, Patricia told her. Benefits, stability, something you can build a life on. In early 2022, Crenshonda saw a posting for the Harris County Emergency Services District. 911 dispatcher. Starting pay, $17.25 an hour. Full benefits. Pension eligibility after 5 years. She applied online, mostly to get her mother off her back. 112 people applied for 8 positions. She passed the written exam, passed the background check, passed the drug screening, passed the psychological evaluation. The evaluators noted she was poised under simulated pressure with strong communication skills and a professional demeanor. One wrote she demonstrated appropriate empathy during role-play scenarios. Another observed she appeared motivated and engaged throughout the assessment process. They offered her the job in February 2022. She started in March. 6 weeks of training at the Harris County Emergency Communications Center on Travis Street in downtown Houston. She learned call protocols, CAD systems, multi-line management, radio codes, crisis de-escalation techniques. She learned how to keep a caller calm while dispatching an ambulance, how to guide a panicked parent through emergency procedures over the phone, how to talk someone through a medical crisis,
Skilled.
how to stay on the line with someone in distress until officers arrived, how to be the voice between chaos and rescue. She learned that when someone dials 911, they are almost always experiencing the worst moment of their life, and she would be the first person they reached. On April 15th, 2022, she was assigned to the 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift. Station 7, console facing the east wall, headset, dual monitors, a laminated quick reference card, a direct line to every ambulance, fire truck, and patrol car in Harris County. She was 22 years old. She was responsible for lives.
Mm.
For the first few months, she did her job. The Harris County Emergency Communications Center serves 4.7 million residents, the largest county in Texas and the third largest in the United States. On any given shift, 187 dispatchers work rotating schedules across 48 consoles in a facility the size of a football field. They handle an average of 8,200 calls per day. Medical emergencies, domestic disputes, house fires, cardiac events, car accidents on I-10 and the 610 loop and the Katy Freeway and Highway 290. Missing children, suspicious persons. Welfare checks on elderly relatives who haven't answered the phone in days. When someone in Houston dials 911, they reach this room. The people who work here are not paramedics. They are not police officers. They carry no badge, no gun, no medical kit. They sit at a desk with a headset and a screen. And yet, they are the first point of contact between a citizen in crisis and the help that might save their life. They guide panicked parents through emergency procedures. They keep distressed callers talking until officers arrive. They dispatch ambulances to medical calls and pray they get there in time. It is a job that requires focus, empathy, and calm under pressure. The system was built on one foundational assumption, that the person answering the call would actually listen, that they would stay on the line, that they would do their job. The system did not account for apathy. The first documented hang-up came on October 14th, 2022, 6 months into her employment. 7:47 p.m., Crenshonda Williams at Station 7. A man calling to report a fender bender on West Park Drive. 2 cars, no injuries. He just needed to file a report. I need to report an click. Call duration, 4 seconds. No callback, no documentation, no dispatch. The caller eventually drove to a police substation to file the report himself. Crenshonda Williams went back to scrolling Instagram, her phone propped against the monitor. It was such a small thing. A fender bender. No one was hurt. No one would ever know. Within weeks, the hang-ups became a pattern, a system. Calls she deemed not worth her time. Fender benders, those were easy to dismiss. Noise complaints, not real emergencies. Callers who sounded intoxicated, they'd call back when they sobered up. Women who sounded hysterical, someone else could deal with them. She developed a method. Answer the call. Listen for 2 seconds, maybe 3. Decide. Hang up. If the caller dialed again, someone else would pick up. Not her problem. Her colleagues noticed she had the shortest average call times on the floor. Station 7 was clearing calls faster than anyone. No one questioned it. Short calls meant efficiency. Efficiency was good for the metrics. Her supervisors noted in quarterly reviews that she met minimum call quotas, but was not particularly engaged. One wrote that she seems distracted at times but maintains acceptable performance metrics. Another observed she could benefit from additional mentorship on caller empathy. No formal complaints were filed. No disciplinary action taken. The red flags were there. Nobody looked. Between October 2022 and August 2023, 10 months, Crenshonda Williams hung up on 47 emergency calls. 12 were classified as medical emergencies, cardiac events, diabetic episodes, a woman experiencing a medical crisis in a grocery store parking lot.
I've had to call, to get some help, some medical attention. Because I'm an asthmatic. And I can't imagine calling the police and I get hung up on. You know how quick your life could be taken. Like, this is why it's so frustrating to me, because it's like, you legit hung up on these people. Like, you deserve every inch of that sale for a long time. Like, for real. Like, What?
8 were domestic violence calls, women calling to report that they were in danger. 1 was hiding in a bathroom closet, whispering into her phone. 14 were traffic accidents.
Oh, wow.
Cars flipped on the highway. Pedestrians struck in crosswalks.
Oh, wow.
At least 2 involved
This
serious
is
injuries.
terrible.
7 were wellness checks. Family members worried about elderly relatives. Neighbors who hadn't seen the woman next door in days. 6 were classified as other. A gas leak. A suspicious person outside a daycare. A child who had wandered away from home. Each one a person in crisis. Each one trusting that when they called for help, someone would answer.
Yeah.
Someone would listen. Someone would send help. Each one heard a click. Then silence. August 12th, 2023. A Sunday. Houston summer. 94 degrees and humid. Denise Williams was 28 years old. She lived alone with her 4-month-old son, Jalen, in a 1-bedroom apartment on Westheimer Road near Montrose. She worked as a pharmacy technician at a CVS on Kirby Drive, $16.50 an hour, just enough to cover rent and everything a new baby needs. Jalen's father was not in the picture, had never been in the picture. It was just the 2 of them. That evening, around 6 o'clock, she put Jalen down for a nap in his crib. He'd been fussy all day, not eating well, a little warm to the touch. She thought he was finally settling. She went to the kitchen to heat up some leftovers. At 6:14 p.m., she checked on him. Something was wrong. He wasn't responding. He needed help immediately. She grabbed her phone, hands shaking, dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? My baby, he's not okay. Please, click. Call duration, 3 seconds. Crenshonda Williams at Station 7. Logged in the system as accidental disconnect. Denise stared at her phone, tried to process what had just happened. She dialed again, 14 seconds later. Ma'am, 911, please, my son, he's 4 months old. Something's wrong. I need an ambulance. Please, click. 5 seconds. Same station, same dispatcher. Logged as caller disconnected. She dialed a 3rd time, screaming now. One hand on Jalen's tiny chest, trying to remember what to do from a video she'd seen once. She didn't know if she was doing it right. She didn't know if it mattered. Please, someone help me. Click. 2 seconds. Crenshonda Williams had hung up on a mother, desperately trying to save her baby. 3 times in 75 seconds. Then she went back to her phone. Denise's neighbor, Marcus Holloway, heard screaming through the thin apartment walls. He pounded on her door, found her holding Jalen, sobbing so hard she couldn't speak. He didn't ask questions. He grabbed his keys. They drove to Memorial Hermann Medical Center, the Texas Medical Center campus, 8 minutes away in Sunday evening traffic. Marcus ran red lights. Denise held Jalen in the back seat, pleading with him to hold on. But too much time had passed, over 20 minutes without proper emergency response. At 6:58 p.m., the doctors delivered the news no parent should ever have to hear. Jalen Marcus Williams was gone, 4 months old. The medical examiner's report noted that outcome may have differed with immediate emergency intervention. If an ambulance had been dispatched on that first call, the one Crenshonda Williams ended after 3 seconds, paramedics could have been on scene in 4 to 6 minutes. Proper medical care could have been administered. The outcome might have been different. Instead, Denise Williams rode to the hospital in the back seat of a stranger's car, praying for a miracle that never came. She would later testify that she kept hoping Jalen would be okay, that she couldn't accept what had happened, that she held him for 2 hours in the emergency room before finally letting go. September 2023.
Not gonna lie. That should be a charge towards her, like as far as like unaliving that baby, because you could have been their angel. Getting that baby some damn help. But instead you want to scroll on Instagram and your ass just want to sit there and not do nothing but get paid. Like, this is nuts. Like, why didn't you go work for the call center? Like, as far as like nothing that's life threatening, like something that's safe, where you just looking at people's accounts or something like that. Like, why would you? Man, rest in peace, baby. That baby.
Routine quarterly audit. Quality assurance supervisor. Terrence Mobley was reviewing call metrics when he noticed an anomaly. Station 7. An unusual concentration of calls lasting under 5 seconds. Far more than any other station.
Idiot.
He drilled down. One dispatcher accounted for 71% of all sub-5 second calls over the previous 12 months. Crenshonda Williams, 47 calls. Average duration, 3.2 seconds. That wasn't efficiency. That was impossible. You couldn't verify a caller's location in 3.2 seconds. You couldn't assess an emergency. You couldn't do anything. Mobley pulled the audio files. Every 911 call in Harris County is recorded. Every single one. What he heard made him physically ill. Caller after caller. Mid-sentence. Mid-scream. Mid-plea. Then silence. My husband is hurting me. Please send someone to... Click. There's been an accident on the freeway. I think someone's injured. Click. I can't feel my left arm.
You gotta have a mental issue to do some shit like to do stuff like this, because you in your right mind, you hear people screaming and going through real life things. Like, how in the hell do you just hang up on people like this and not feel nothing? Yeah.
I think I'm having a... Click. And then the Williams calls. A mother's voice, rising from confusion to panic to desperate screaming. 3 calls. 3 clicks. A family's nightmare on the other end of the line. Mobley forwarded the files to his supervisor that afternoon. Internal Affairs was notified within the hour. The Texas Rangers were brought in the following day. Crenshonda Williams was placed on administrative leave on September 19th, 2023. 2 days later, she was brought to the Internal Affairs office for questioning. Investigator Raymond Gaines and Texas Ranger Pauline Vickers were waiting. They played her the audio, the Williams calls, a mother begging for help. Her own voice, bored and flat, before each disconnect. The system glitches all the time, she said. Calls drop. It's not my fault. They played it again. Her voice. 911, what's your emergency? Then the click. Long pause. I didn't feel like working that day. They asked about the other 46 calls. She shrugged. Sometimes I just didn't feel like talking. September 18th, 2023, 2:22 p.m. The day before the formal interview. Crenshonda Williams at Station 7. First hour of her shift. Iced Starbucks on the desk. Phone face down beside the keyboard. Headset draped around her neck, not on her ears. Internal Affairs investigator Raymond Gaines walked across the floor toward her station. Texas Ranger Pauline Vickers beside him, both in plain clothes, both with badges visible. Every dispatcher on the floor watched. Crenshonda Williams, Gaines's voice was flat. Step away from the console. She looked up, rolled her eyes. Excuse me, I'm working. 47 hang-ups, your login, your headset, your voice on every recording. Arms crossed, neck rolled. And the system glitches. Calls drop all the time. Vickers stepped forward. A family lost their baby. Mother called 3 times. You hung up 3 times. Crenshonda's jaw tightened. She looked away. I didn't feel like working that day. Stand up, now. She was escorted from the communications center in handcuffs. 31 colleagues watched in silence. Badge confiscated. Access card deactivated. Console locked. At 4:47 p.m., she was booked at Harris County Jail on Baker Street. Charges: 2 counts of interference with emergency telephone calls, normally a misdemeanor, elevated to a state jail felony due to the resulting tragedy. 1 count reckless conduct. 1 count dereliction of duty. Bond was set at $100,000. Her mother posted 10% through a bondsman the next morning. The state of Texas formally indicted Crenshonda Latrice Williams in October 2023. The trial began February 12, 2024, at the Harris County Criminal Courthouse on Franklin Street. Judge Catherine Okonkwo presiding. 23 years on the bench, known for being fair but unsparing. Assistant District Attorney Michael Treadwell for the prosecution. 15-year veteran of the office. He had a 4-year-old daughter at home. Public defender Simone Ashford for the defense. She argued systemic failures, inadequate training, a broken system that allowed one dispatcher to hang up 47 times without triggering a single flag. The
Right.
prosecution did not need arguments. They played the audio. The jury heard the Williams calls on the first day of testimony. Courtroom silent. 12 jurors in the box. Denise
Disgusting.
Williams in the gallery, clutching a photograph of Jalen. 911, what's your emergency? My baby, he's not okay. Please. Click. Several jurors closed their eyes. One wiped her face. They heard the second call. The third. A mother screaming into a void. One juror requested a recess. The judge granted it. Denise Williams took the stand on February 14th, Valentine's Day. She held a photograph of Jalen in her lap, the only photo she had of him smiling. I called 3 times, she said. 3 times, and she hung up while my baby needed help. Tears
All
now.
3
I
times.
did everything right. I called 911. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they tell you. She paused. I will never know if he could have been saved. If I had just driven to the hospital myself from the start. I will never stop asking why. The defense had no cross-examination. There was nothing to ask. The jury deliberated for 47 minutes. 1 minute for each hang-up. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was handed down on March 8th, 2024. Judge Catherine Okonkwo addressed the defendant directly. Ms. Williams, you were entrusted with the most sacred responsibility a civilian can hold in our society, to be the voice between crisis and rescue. When a citizen dials 911, they are placing their life in the hands of a
Go
stranger.
ahead.
They are trusting that someone will answer, that someone will listen, that someone will send help. She paused. You betrayed that trust 47 times. You treated that responsibility as an inconvenience. You treated human suffering as an interruption to your day.
Why
A
you scroll?
4-month-old baby is gone because you, in your own words, didn't feel like working. She looked at the defendant. The callousness of that statement will stay with this court forever. Sentence: 18 months in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice,
That's
to
how
be
she-
served at the Lane Murray Unit in Gatesville. 10 years supervised probation upon release. Lifetime ban from employment in emergency services anywhere in the
10, 18 months. That's not fair. That's not fair. 10 years supervised parole. Let me see. Let's see.
supervised probation upon release. Lifetime ban from employment in She looked at the defendant. The callousness of that statement will stay with this court forever. Sentence: 18 months in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, to be served at the Lane Murray Unit in Gatesville. 10 years supervised probation upon release.
No.
Lifetime ban from employment in emergency services
That's
anywhere
good.
in the United States. $52,000 restitution to the Williams family. Crenshonda Williams showed no visible reaction. She was handcuffed and led from the courtroom without looking back. She reported to Lane
Oh.
Murray Unit on March 22nd, 2024. Inmate number 02174.
When you speak to her, this is her name. 02174893 for 10 years. Which that's still like a slap on the wrist. That baby is gone, bro. That baby ain't gonna ever have a chance. Baby gone. That's terrible. Ooh, I don't know.
893. A women's facility 180 miles northwest of Houston. Eligible for parole after 6 months. Expected release September 2025. The Williams family filed a lawsuit against Harris County in November 2023. The county settled in April 2024 for $1.4 million. Taxpayer money, no admission of liability. As part of the settlement, Harris County agreed to implement new monitoring protocols. Supervisors now receive real-time alerts for any call disconnected under 10 seconds. Call duration patterns are reviewed weekly instead of quarterly. Dispatchers must document a reason for every disconnection. Denise Williams has not returned to work. She moved out of the apartment on Westheimer Road. She couldn't stay where everything happened. She attends counseling twice a week. She has declined all media interviews except one. She said only this: "I did everything right. I called for help. I trusted the system. And my son is gone because someone didn't feel like doing her job." Crenshonda Williams will be released from prison before Jalen Williams would have celebrated his second birthday. She will serve less than 2 years for what her actions cost a family. Stories like this don't get the attention they deserve. If you want to see more accountability coverage, subscribe and hit the notification.
I would have gave her the mother chair. I probably wouldn't have gave her the chair, but she would be in jail for 10 plus years. I mean, because it's a baby, they probably looking at it like it ain't, you know what I'm saying? But that should hold the same weight as an adult losing their lives over something like this. Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm sorry, this is nuts. This is nuts. But man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I like these type of videos just because I watch it anyway. Every day. So I ain't gonna lie to you. All the ones I didn't watch is what I do the reactions to. But man, I pray for the mother's sanity or anybody else who lives was affected by her hanging up. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a serious matter. Like, you don't hang up those type of calls. Like, why take the position if you really don't want to do the job? That's nuts. But man, like I said, I appreciate y'all for coming through, liking the video up, comment if y'all did. If y'all didn't, I still love y'all. I'm out. See y'all on the next one.